If you're not being mysterious when you first start dating a woman, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage and there's a higher risk that she's going to lose interest in you very quickly. Watch the rest of this video and I'll let you know why that adding some mystery to yourself will help increase a woman's attraction. But before we get into it, please also consider hitting the subscribe button to get more advice just like this. Some women may completely deny it, but they generally like a challenge when they're in the dating world and trying to find a man. If you are way too straightforward and don't add a little mystery to yourself, a woman can get disinterested in you very quickly, and her attraction level not only fails to grow, but will actually drop. Think of it like engaging a woman's emotions, where mystery creates discomfort, that discomfort creates intrigue, and that intrigue raises attraction. When we as men start dating a woman, the general tendency is to put the lady on a pedestal and start trying to say things and get her to like you more. I used to make that mistake of being too much of an open book, because in my head I thought I was a great guy, so I'm just going to continue to tell her how great I am and share my experiences, and that's going to make her like me even more compared to these other guys. It was all me trying to show her like, hey, I'm great, you should be interested in me. I would tell her everything. I would talk about my upbringing, what my family's like, what I like to do for fun, what my job is. I'd ask her what she likes in a guy. I would talk about all my past relationships and why I want to be successful and why they failed. Basically just lay everything out on the floor. Everything would be laid on the floor because that's what TV taught me to do. Just lay everything out, tell her how great I am, and she's going to start liking me more. This is a mistake because what would always happen is it would lead to the woman starting to become a little bit disinterested. Everything would start to fizzle out, and I would become so confused because I thought everything was going great and she had such a high level of interest, and I know myself, how could she become disinterested and how could it fizzle out so quickly? In that early dating stage, you need to get her more comfortable so that her emotions start to engage and her attraction level raises. Get her to talk about herself as much as possible and reveal as little as you can about yourself in the same time. Your job is to get her attraction to increase, and she's going to accept that challenge by starting to take interest in you and trying to pull little pieces of information out of you bit by bit. When you take her out of her comfort zone by not giving all the information right away, it starts to engage her emotions, and she's going to start to wonder about you. And then she's going to start to ask more questions about you, and she's going to be increasing her attraction level for you. Confidence is number one when it comes to getting women and maintaining their attraction. The women you're dating right now are probably going on or have gone out on tons of other dates with guys who are trying to impress them and talk all about themselves to get the woman to like her. By not doing that, you're going to be in complete contrast to those guys. While they're trying to impress her by giving them their life story and all about themselves, you're going to answer her questions by being succinct and friendly and charming, but turning the conversation right back onto her. This mystery you're adding shows a differentiation compared to the other guys she's dating, and it's going to start to raise her attraction level because you're confident in yourself. She sees that, wow, he doesn't need to say all this stuff to impress me. She may not think that directly, but that's the impression that she's going to get by you acting in this manner. You're secure with yourself as a man, and you're not looking for her validation in any type. I've had many different women tell me, like, you're different. There's something different about you, and I'm just not sure what it is. Once I started applying this technique, what they're feeling is that growing comfort level of those initial first dates where I was letting them talk about themselves and being charming, but mainly letting them do all the talking, mixing with that feeling of, okay, that comfort level is growing, but then the mystery is added because she doesn't really know too much about me. These two forces work significantly with each other to start raising attraction. This is going to be different from dates with most other guys, and this is where you are the differentiator. Women's feelings grow up slower than men's. It's a fact. You may not believe it, but men often fall in love within the first maybe even days or a couple weeks, whereas it takes women a few months. So what does this mean for you? It means if you start pouring your heart out in these first couple dates and tell her how great she is, tell her how much you like her, and then say things like, I don't think there's any other woman for me, that could stop her right in her tracks and cause her to start backing away. And it's at this stage where everything goes wrong for most guys and they start to unravel because they're going to start to panic and start going, hey, what's wrong? What did I do? And all these things lead up to pushing her away more and more to a point where she doesn't want anything to do with you anymore. And you're kind of left standing there like, what the heck did I do? What just happened? I thought everything was going great. This isn't me saying not to be excited or incredibly happy that things are going well in those first initial stages with the woman you're dating. Obviously, that's the feeling we're all after when we're trying to get into these situations. But what I'm saying is you need to be aware and conscious of how your actions will impact her attraction level. You need to exercise discipline and pay attention to her emotions and what she's telling you with those. So women fall in love slowly, like I mentioned. If you're giving it all the way up there and telling her how you feel, she might back away and become disinterested. Just be aware. This advice isn't only useful for the beginning parts of the dating and courtship. You should be making a continued effort to bring mystery into your relationship, even if you're in a long-term relationship or married. Best way to do this is not to get complacent, which I know can be challenging at times when life gets in the way, but you can't be complacent and you have to continue to surprise your significant other with dates and mystery. You really want to keep her off guard. You don't want to keep doing the same things every week and just be in that boring routine, because over time, if you're that complacent, things will start to happen and she may start to lose interest in you. You want to keep her off guard and make fun, exciting, different dates and go out on different days. Like, don't just continue to do, okay, it's Friday night. Okay, let's go out. Change it up, mix it up, get her emotions engaged because she doesn't know what's going to happen next. You don't want that complacency level to set in because, like I said, over time, her attraction level is going to drop to a point where if guys don't correct it, all of a sudden what you thought was going great, the woman becomes less and less interested and is on the verge of breaking up with you. And a lot of guys, it hits them out of nowhere. If you have a dating or relationship problem and you need my help, send an email to questions@elevatemyrelationships.com. And if you need an emergency paid response to your unique scenario, indicate in the email that you need an emergency paid response, and I will respond to you within 48 hours. If you want to know how to stay out of the friend zone and understand why women back away, check out these two videos. I'll see you next time.